Greetings! Welcome to Film Gazers, a podcast focusing on the science fiction, horror, fantasy trinity, and 20th century entertainment. I'm Steph.
I'm Jess. We're cousins / besties. Join us as we reminisce, discuss, and review films from our childhood.
Meowdy.
Meowdy.
We are on the brink of war for our war-themed July. Mm-hmm. What did we go with? War, what is it good for? Or this is war? I don't even remember.
I don't even know if there was a title for it.
We didn't properly name it.
I don't think we did. I think it was just like war adjacent.
We didn't give it a little jaunty tagline.
I didn't. It's been a rough couple of months.
It has been. It is. We are in the dog days of summer, I suppose.
Chugging along.
Yeah, chugging along. I myself have gotten a little bad news at my real job. I don't know if I've even ever said what I actually do. I think I just say like, oh, I work on the beach, but I don't know if I've said specifics. I'm a retail buyer, and I have like a co-buyer that I work with. And she does buying for like apparel, and I do like footwear and sunglasses. And we've gotten along together really well for like 3 years. We've worked together and stuff, and I found out she's going to be moving and taking another position, and I'm really happy for her because she's like 27, so this is like really great. And she'll be going to St. Pete, I believe, which is an amazing city. I don't know if you've ever been there. Have you been?
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah, no, we loved it. We went to Tampa St. Pete a couple of summers ago, I think, and checked it out. And it is very cool. Like, I can see why it's, like, the new cool place in Florida to, like, live, especially for younger people and stuff. Yeah. It's just super expensive, I think. Because I told her, I was like, you can buy a trailer there for $90,000 in a trailer park.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, crazy. But no, she'll be fine. But,
like, not to freak you out.
Yeah.
Prevent you from maybe not going.
Oh no, because I always look at property stuff. Yeah, no, it's so funny. No, she'll be fine, but it just sucks. I'm gonna really miss her. So I've been really bummed out because I think the transition's gonna happen kind of quickly.
Yeah.
Or quickish, you know, because she's taking like another position. So, I'm just bummed.
Yeah.
So bummed, but hopefully it'll work out, and hopefully people get moved up maybe and everything, like, and it just keeps at least chilling. I just don't want, what is it, like a wrench thrown in the mix, you know, because things have been going just so steady and well in that department. So it appears you're not the only one with work changes now this year. It seems like there's a theme for everybody.
I get the sense it's a transformational period for the Earth itself.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think like Neptune and like Pluto and shit means some stuff like that.
I'm just trying to go along for the ride.
Yeah, so like, I've just been really like kind of like not able to keep my focus, you know. Yeah. I'm like kind of like keep drifting off thinking about, oh, what's gonna happen at work and this and that. Oh, we're gonna get, you know, whatever.
Anxiety, all the things. Little
anxiety, you
episodes.
know, like
daydreams.
Yeah, new changes are happening yet again. So it's fine. I just feel like, I feel like this whole past like 2 years now, I guess a year and a half, whatever you want to call it, it's been very like transitional and a lot of changes. And I'm glad that this podcast has been a constant for me. Yeah. I want to point that out, guys. So if you are listening, thanks for hanging in there with us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
So, obviously we're like, ugh. And this is why the war movie theme felt appropriate this month with everything else going on. And this is going to be another episode, guys, of Stephanie got 2 movies mixed up in her head.
I think I had them mostly Toy Soldiers, like you said. That was the movie I remembered, mixed with Patrick Swayze.
Yes.
But the beginning of it with the school is
exactly
totally what I remember. I remember that the most.
Yes, and I think that was my problem. So as she mentioned, Toy Soldiers was the one that I had been actually thinking of when I chose Red Dawn. I thought I was choosing Toy Soldiers. Like, I just did not remember that's what that movie was called at all.
Right.
And I kind of blanked on Shane Astin. That's my bad. Like, that I forgot about him. Or Sean Astin. That's what I in my head, I even was like, wait, is it Shane or is it Sean? I'm going to say it wrong.
You probably say Sean because it's S-E-A-N.
It is. And I knew someone who had SEAN, but they pronounced it Shane. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. Totally, again, chose a different movie. I mean, I still enjoyed this one. I still watched this one as a kid, so, I mean, no regrets, but I meant to choose Toy Soldiers.
It was way more hardcore and actual warlike.
Yes!
Than I was expecting it to be.
Because I thought we were watching Toy Soldiers, which the whole premise of that is it's like a terrorist group invades like a private school situation, like hostage. And so that was literally when I was thinking of the movie, even when we were looking stuff up and making our choices, again, I couldn't remember, I guess, the name. And I kept thinking of the War Games movie with Matthew Broderick. But then when I looked that up, I was like, no, that's not the movie I'm thinking of. And that's why I was like, well, I guess it's Red Dawn. Like, because I could not think of Toy Soldiers.
Well, it's funny because Dave he's always singing that stupid theme song from Toy Soldiers. But I remember that movie being, I guess, like Hackers or something.
Yes.
Like more of that style of movie.
I thought there was like a drone involved.
I think that's a different movie.
I think so too. So I guess maybe that's War Games. I don't know. Maybe I just like
I didn't particularly care for any of those kind of movies.
Yeah.
So they all just kind of blended together to me. They were
possibly
like
that's what happened. And I just literally did like a Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly.
Of like teenagers in a war protecting their high school scenario was all just like one thing.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, that's all one movie. It was like 3 separate movies.
It was like, that was a genre of like late 80s, early 90s, apparently.
I guess so.
Teenagers going to war.
I mean, that kind of was it, right? So yeah, I want to give everyone a heads up on that. And so what else have you been watching and doing besides being depresso?
Not much. Just still Golden Ramsay. Still Hell's Kitchen.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It's raw.
I love it when they add like metal music when he says stuff to
it's
his
raw.
Yeah, tracks like that. Oh, that's great.
I'm on season 9, I think.
Oh,
no,
chugging along.
There's 18 seasons.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You're only halfway.
Halfway through. Will I make it all the way? I don't know, because I like to get almost to the end and then stop.
I'm surprised you haven't been watching that stuff with your boy from Botched.
Which one?
That crazy doctor man.
No, which show?
I don't know. Just Michelle Visage is on it.
Oh, that
and
sounds
it's some
familiar.
Reality show thing, and like I don't know, he's on it, and they all seem kind of ridiculous. Like,
what's it on?
I have no idea. I literally have just been seeing like stuff on Instagram. Like,
which doctor is it?
The crazy looking one with the black hair.
Oh, that's Dr. Nassif.
Yes, I think
Paul
so.
Nassif.
I guess so. I don't remember.
The other one is Terry DeBrow.
And I just got a video of like Michelle Visage like removing her makeup very dramatically.
Oh no.
In front of the camera.
Taking it all off.
Yeah. And then it's just all of these plastic surgery people with their filler and like full faces, and they're just like all staring at her. Like it was I was like
intense.
I know. I was like, oh, Jessica's probably should be watching this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, so look it up. I don't know what it's called. I don't know nothing. I just saw the video and I was like
shook it.
I was like, I gotta tell Jessica about this. Oh, another show recommendation actually, that has uplifted my spirits a lot. Like, it is something in the evenings now I'm like looking forward to even watching it, and it's Ted Lasso. Did you ever watch that one?
No, but Dave did.
Oh my God, it is so wholesome and like heartwarming, and it's just one of those shows that you're just like, this is good, like you are endeared to the characters very quickly. They do a really good job with it, and I think it came out like 2020, which it seems like everyone needed a feel good thing probably during that year.
Besides Tiger King.
Besides Tiger King, exactly. You need a more positive one. Not people being
not scandalous.
Yeah, scandalous. Now it's about like soccer, football, and he's like taken from Arkansas as like an American football coach, and they put him in charge of like a soccer team. So it's just very cute. I really liked it. We're already on season 2. Like, I think we busted out. I mean, it's not super long show by any means, but yeah, it's super cute. If you did miss it like I did, definitely check it out. Also, we watched The Blues Brothers, because that is another of my feel-good movies that I watch.
Classic.
Yeah, Andrew and I love that movie together, which is something cool too. When we were like first dating and stuff, we would watch The Blues Brothers a lot because I've always been obsessed with them. And he was like, "Oh, you like them too?" He likes them too for another. He played this video game. Any video game nerds listening, Earthbound, or it was called Mother 3, I believe was the Japanese name.
Gabriel knows all about those.
Oh my God, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Andrew, it's like one of his favorite games of all time. And they have their own little Blues Brothers characters that are basically, it's like supposed to be them, but they're called something else, but they're little suits. So that's why he even has like a little, he's like, oh, I even love these little spoof characters of them. So it's always good every time I watch it. It's a 5-star film to me.
Never lets down.
Never lets me down. Like, just little things still make me just crack up when I watch it sometimes. So... classic.
The one scene that sticks out the most to me from the Blues Brothers is when they're singing Rawhide.
Yes, in the honky tonk bar.
Stand by your man.
Yeah. Love all
But the Rawhide one always stuck with me even as a kid.
Yeah. No, one of my favorite scenes is just when he throws a cigarette lighter out of the window, talking shit kind of about the car, and then in the end, he's like, oh, I guess it's all right, but he's like, doesn't have a cigarette lighter. Like, it's like those little jokes. I love it so much. Oh, it doesn't have cigarettes because he threw it out the window. That's funny. And then, so after I had watched Red Dawn earlier this week, I needed a little palate cleanser because it actually stuck with me a little bit more than I thought it would. Red Dawn did. So I watched Beverly Hills Ninja.
Oh, that's a classic.
Chris Farley.
Can't get more comedic than that.
I needed a background movie because I was doing the notes for Red Dawn, and I was like, you know what? Because Andrew was like playing on his Steam Deck and stuff, and we're like, let's just I'm like, this movie would always be like the background movie when I was doing things when I was probably in like middle school. I watched that VHS a lot.
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yes, yeah. It was
I did too.
And it's so stupid.
Because I used to be obsessed with Chris Farley.
Yes, yeah.
I loved him.
And even Andrew gave it props. He was like, honestly, I like this one more than Black Sheep. I was, he was like, it's just so goofy, and he was a little bit different. You know, like his character had to be a little bit different. And it's a freaking like ninja kung fu movie, like a spoof one, you know, so it's just fun. I love anything like, I like ninja and like kung fu films, just in general.
I used to watch a lot of Bruce Lee movies when I was in like high school.
They're all fun. I love Jackie Chan, and I watched a lot of Jet Li. I was really into Jet Li.
Jackie Chan was the man.
I know I loved watching his old like Rumble in the Bronx and some of the older stuff. Because he was like
parkour before.
Parkour, right. I know. It was always so impressive. So we watched that, and I finally finished Steven Universe. Yeah.
How did you like it?
Very, I always wondered in the back of my mind, the question was always there, and I was just like, oh, well, we'll find out, you know, and I was right, is all I'm going to say. I guess it's been out for a while, I can ruin it. So it turns out Steven Universe, his mom, you know, that like had him and gave him, that's why he's a diamond, Rose Quartz was always her name, and her name was Rose Quartz, and she led the rebellion. No, it turns out she was Pink Diamond all along. So his mom never killed the Pink Diamond like leader in the rebellion. She just literally disguised herself as someone else and then pretended that they killed herself essentially. And no one knew, only Pearl knew, and like had like repressed it deep into her like mind that Steven had to figure it out later. And like to me it always did make sense because I was like, there were never any other rose quartzes, but then another time they mentioned that there were, but they were all bubbled, so you didn't see what their forms looked like. So I was always curious as to like, I thought maybe that would give us hints, but they never quite went that way for you until this very end, and then they like throw it all out there, and you're like, what the fuck? So they have to come to terms with that, and they like meet the actual diamonds who have been like the tyrants, you know, they're the flawless, you know, original gemstones, and they've created all these different gems.
Mm-hmm.
And White Diamond is fucking crazy. Like, they draw are really cool. Like, the animation for the diamonds, though, was like excellent. Like, I love the character design that they did for all of them. It had a very distinct like vibe to it. It's hard to describe. It feels like almost like cartoons from the 50s a little bit. And then like, but Blue Diamond almost looked like some of those girls that would be drawn in the 70s, you know, like that kind of hippie with the big long eyes, or like a wizard, like, you know, like I don't know, it was
unicorn vibe.
Yeah, they kind of had they had a really cool design. So I was really happy with it, though. It finished. It was fine. I think they came out with another season called Steven Universe Future, and so then it's supposed to be a little later. So I'll probably jump into that later.
Nice.
But that's what I've been up to, watching. Nothing too crazy.
Yep.
Keeping it easy.
Keeping it easy. And I've also just been working on my Instagrams.
Yeah, they've been cute. All your nature pictures are so pretty.
Thanks.
And remember, that's at Florida Boho at Florida.boho on Instagrams. So with that, in this episode, we watched 1984's Red Dawn. It was directed by John Milius. It was written by Kevin Reynolds and John Milius. The story was by Kevin Reynolds. It was produced by Buzz Feitshans, Barry Beckerman, and Sidney Beckerman. It was starring Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, Leah Thompson, Ben Johnson, Harry Dean Stanton, Ron O'Neill, William Smith, Powers Booth. Wow, they didn't even give Jennifer Grey a fucking listing. Cinematography was by Rick Waite. It was edited by Tom Noble. Music by Basil Poldoris. Or Basil. Oh, it could be Basil.
I just remember that from Austin Powers.
It probably is Basil. It was released August 10th, 1984. 3 days after you were born.
Oh my God. I'm connected.
Running time is 114 minutes. The budget was $17 million, and the box office was $38 million. Which, I guess in the 80s was okay.
You said 38 million?
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty
good. I feel like that's a lot. So, John Milius, the director, he knew what he had in Swayze for this particular role. The rest were all very younger, fresh actors at the time. Swayze was the more established one. Mm-hmm. So he kind of used that to his advantage, and he had Swayze be the like de facto leader, even kind of amongst the actors as well. And this is what Swayze said on a documentary for the film's DVD. Milius is a very intense director. He's a very wonderful director. I love the man, but we had to call him the general. And he called me and he says, Swayze, you're my lieutenant of the art. So I'm directing these little suckers through you. So he put a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, and I took it really seriously. And I feel like you can tell he did in this role. Mm-hmm. Swayze was a gem.
He really was.
So it kind of sounds like the director, though, is a bit of an asshole a little bit. He's like pretty known to be a very right-wing conservative guy. So Kevin Reynolds is who originally wrote Red Dawn. And he wrote it when he was a student at USC Film School. MGM optioned the script. They had asked Milius to direct it. So he's quoted to say, and this is why I think he's an asshole, to be honest. I brought the writer in and said, this isn't going to be easy for you to take because, you know, you're kind of full of yourself, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it into my movie and you're just going to have to sit back and watch and it may not be too pleasant.
Jesus.
Yeah. My advice is to take the money you have and spend it on a young girl. Enjoy getting laid and write another script because this isn't going to be fun to watch. Another quote he said. So I'm like, okay, dick.
I know.
Like what? Who's really full of themselves
and then
here?
Spend your money on a young girl? Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
I know. I was like, okay, fucking creeper. The original script was more similar to Lord of the Flies. And it was supposed to be more anti-war completely.
That's funny you said that, because I did get a Lord of the Flies.
You still get, I do feel like he did at least keep some of that theme throughout, because ultimately I do feel like it's still an anti-war movie. Mm-hmm. Even though I do feel like there was this weird propaganda spin that was obviously being tried there, but I don't think it went like how he intended. I don't think
children watching it took it as anti-war at all.
No.
I know the children watching it in the 80s. I was like, this explains a lot about boys from the 80s.
Yeah, the director has stated that he even says, I kept some of that, but my script was more about the resistance. And my script was tinged by the time as well. Which, I mean, that is, he made that very obvious. He was like, we made it really outrageous and infinitely more outrageous than his vision. He was like, and to this day it holds up because people ask, what's that movie about? And I say that it's not about the Russians, it's about the federal government.
Well, because it wasn't just Russians, it was Cubans.
And it was basically about America being on their own.
I said it right that time.
Yeah, you did. She's been having real trouble saying World War III.
War.
He's also been stated saying Red Dawn was the film about the impending possible reality, which at the time was an actual fear of the Soviet Union invading this country. People actually thought that way, so that's why I made the movie, and that's why people liked it. That's what he said.
He was like, he was
like, the movie was based on fear that was real, and that's what we played upon, and that's what made it exciting, especially during that era, basically.
Right.
I mean, he's not wrong, like, in that respect. But I just thought the way he said it, I'm like, you just sound like such a dick, dude.
Yeah.
Like...
He's like, oh yeah, people are freaking out about it. So I was like, hey, I'll make a movie about that and make money off of it. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I will profit off people's suffering.
He also said that he knew that Hollywood would condemn him for it. He'd be regarded as a right-wing warmonger from then on, uncontrollable and unhousebroken.
Unhousebroken?
that was, hey, this is his quote, not mine. So he also, part of his contract was not only, he gets paid for his work, but he was also allowed to get an antique gun of his choosing. So I can't wait to end the notes about this guy, because you're going to crack up when I tell you. So he wanted an antique firearm of his choice. He would supposedly even leave some of his guns like on his desk in plain view, like when journalists would interview him and stuff, to like even give off that vibe. Yeah. He just really wanted to lean into that persona, and he did. So it turns out that his brash, gun-toting persona is what inspired John Goodman's character of Walter in The Big Lebowski.
Oh, nice.
So it was that guy directing this movie. Imagine Walter directing Red Dawn.
No. He's like, buddy's face down in the muck.
Yeah. So I thought that was very funny. This movie also was a lot to film, apparently. There was a lot of parachutists that were hired for the beginning scene like that. They used a Las Vegas high school. Most of this was actually filmed in Las Vegas and not in Colorado at all.
That's why they kept showing that sign. We're in Colorado.
Yeah.
The sign's right here.
Even though it does look real deserty out here. I don't know. It could be similar. I have not been to either of those states personally.
I haven't been anywhere I was.
But there was a gentleman out of Albuquerque that organized the parachute jump. His name was Ron Deal, and he had contacted clubs like all over and was able to like get all of these people who were into it to go do it. Mm-hmm. They weren't even paid. Like they literally like, yeah, that sounds fun. Someone was going to say they terrorized Las Vegas for a week because a lot of them, got accidentally blown off course and stuff. So some of them were like landing in trees or like people's yards, like dressed as fucking Russians with fake AKs.
And they're like freaking out.
Yeah, someone like had called the cops, on one of them, thinking, there was some crazy fucking like terrorist person like in their yard. Someone broke their leg because they like fell on someone's backyard fence. Yeah,
somebody could have had a gun and shot them because they thought they were protecting their house.
Yeah. No, there was someone who did even pull out a gun. He had to like yell like, "Please don't shoot! I am not Russian." Like to the people like over and over.
Like that's what a Russian would say.
Yeah, so that was apparently a whole thing. There was even a sequence when they were blowing up the fighter planes at the internment camp near the drive-in during that scene. The special effects guys used too strong of a charge, and it blew 2 mobile homes off of their, like, footings.
Oh, damn.
Like, across the street. Like, you know, like, way down the way. So they said that kind of stuff happened a lot in this production, and some of the townspeople were not very happy with the filming.
That's crazy. But it was the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when you know all those practical effects. Like, they're just blowing this shit up. Like,
it's real.
It was real. And that was why I did really enjoy those parts of this movie. The cast even underwent a legitimate, like, intensive 8-week military training course. And when the women actresses were being, before they were even allowed to, like, audition for the part, they were given some questions by him. And again, he's like a Walter guy. So he literally was asking them if they would be able to hunt and kill a bunny if they were having to survive. And he said that he even specifically said bunny and not rabbit to really, like, play into someone's emotions more, to see what the girls would say. He was like, a lot of the girls were obviously mortified right away. We're like, oh no, I could never do that. He was like, they didn't get even to audition. But the girls who were like, well, I mean, if I had to do it to survive, you know, like, I probably could or something, like, then they got to go to the next step. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, Jennifer Grey and Leah Thompson said they probably could. That is where I would not have gotten this role. Because if they would have asked me if it was a deer or, like, anything like that. But a rabbit is one thing that I've never ate and I will never eat. Because they are too cute and I won't do it. Any other animal I feel like I could, but I just can't do a rabbit.
Like, how desperate I was, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could do it.
I don't think I could either.
No.
I think I could kill a deer. Like, I think I could hunt and, like, you know, be able to shoot or, like, bow and arrow a deer.
If it was lying there and you didn't kill it right away and then it was looking at you in the eye.
Well, then I know I have to.
I know, but
because you have to put it out of your misery.
But
a little furry bunny rabbit?
Either way, I would, like, think it, every time I would go down to sleep at night, all I would think about was looking at that deer in the eye.
Have dreams of, like,
that deer had a family.
Of, like, deer men with, like, horns and, like, silhouettes, like coming towards you. No, so that was kind of what some of the casting was reflective. They at least wanted some younger cast members who had, like, a grit about them.
Right.
So some of the temperature, because they were in Las Vegas and then even in New Mexico, they did a lot of parts in there, I think, with the winter shots, like when it was snowing and stuff, it would get down to 60 below. Oh my God. Yeah. Patrick Swayze got frostbite in whole different areas. He said on almost every part of his body there was some kind of little frostbitten part. So much so that he said even, like, years later, like when he gets cold or something, he gets the prickly feelings in certain areas of his body. Ew. From the frostbite. Like, I guess, yeah, it's crazy. He said by the end of filming that he even had, like, chunks of hair falling out. Like, yeah.
From stress or
what? From the conditions and stuff.
That's,
like,
terrible.
Because it was kind of like they're, you know, surviving a little bit while even filming. Like, some of, like, you saw the crazy shit they filmed in this thing. Like, so, you know how there was that one, like, hardcore Russian Colonel Strelnikov that comes up because he's like, oh, I'm a hunter, and now you must hunt. So he was played by William Smith. And he had been a real Russian intercept interrogator. Interrogator? Yeah, interrogator. It felt like not a word for a second. For the CIA. So Sheen is quoted as saying he was terrifying. I don't know if he was in character the whole time, but you couldn't talk to him on the set. You just kept your distance. He was like, but it worked in the movie. Look how brilliant he is in the film. He's an imposing force. So, yeah, apparently Charlie Sheen was like, nah, I ain't fucking with that guy.
Mm-hmm. And he was young then, so.
And Charlie Sheen knows winning.
It's tiger's blood.
Yeah, he knows tiger's blood when he sees it. So the crew especially built a lot of the Soviet hardware for the movie, including the tanks, the guns, even the gunship helicopters. Like, they, you know, made everything look, like, pretty legitimate. And the replica Russian T-72 tank was so precise, when it was transported to the studio that 2 CIA agents did follow and wanted to know where it had come from. And that's pretty cool. Then to get a little more in the movie itself, U.S. General Alexander Haig was a consultant for the movie at one point. He even invited the director to go to Washington, D.C. to discuss possible scenarios of, like, if that were to happen, what would actually be done, you know, kind of thing. What would the response be?
Got preparedness.
Yeah, and it was mentioned that Haig got allegedly so far over the top that even Milius, his hardcore ass himself, was afraid that the film was going to be really jingoistic and like a flag-waving movie. And by the way, that's when I learned this new word. Jingoism and jingoistic done twice. And I was like, I feel like I've seen this word before, but I don't remember it. And so I had to, like, look it up again. Because it's...
Yeah,
I just
it
don't...
sticks out.
Sometimes I'm like... Also, I'm just like, I just don't give a shit enough about fucking politics sometimes. With what we're living in right now, to where I'm like, I
You're
can't.
I don't want to go into an existential crisis.
Yeah. So, but I looked this up because I was like, it sounds familiar, but I can't place it. And it is characterized by extreme patriotism, especially in the form of aggressive or warlike foreign policy. And I was like, well, no, I mean, yeah, you did, buddy.
Yeah.
I would say you did.
I feel like that's what you accomplished with this movie.
So it almost feels like it did even went farther than he intended in that, like, because it feels a lot like propaganda, you know, like watching it. On the lighter note, I don't know if this is lighter because Thompson, her character, you get like these bits and pieces it felt like from the girl characters, but they don't really expand on it. It's because their scenes got cut. And both of them seem a little, maybe not the Jennifer Grey one, but the Leah Thompson one, I can understand why they cut it. Apparently there was a beautiful love scene between her and the Colonel.
Ew.
Yeah,
I'm so glad
exactly.
they cut that out.
Yeah, because they were like, technically he was 13 years older than her.
And how old was she supposed to be?
She was supposed to be like, they're supposed to be like 18, I guess, like 17 or 18, or
Still,
like out of high school, or
he's like 30 something.
Yeah, exactly. And the quote was from the dialogue of it would have been like, I'm going to die before ever having made love. Will you please make love with me? Like, so I'll experience it. And basically they just have him saying okay, and then it just disappears out of frame. Like, it wasn't, it was just implied, you know?
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. So it was still, though, they still cut it because
the lovemaking scene makes it sound like...
Well, it's just saying that, oh, hey, you for sure know this adult man fucked this girl.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's basically...
Even though somebody just tried to have their way with him.
Yeah.
That's why she was super quiet.
Yeah, is what I thought they were implying.
That's what I thought
earlier. But then, yeah. So either way, and then she's supposed to have just been instantly, like, open to this guy. Like, they didn't really... Yeah, so I feel like that's probably why they cut it, because they just didn't feel like... They don't show that...
Them getting closer together, really.
Yeah, this movie isn't that kind of character development.
Right.
You know, like, it's not a romance. Like, they didn't do that part. So it didn't... I agree that it wouldn't have fit well. So yeah, it didn't test well either. So that was why they were like, okay, well, we're just gonna cut it out. But Leah Thompson was disappointed because she just thought it was a nice scene and it just explained her character more, even when she was more upset when that guy died. And stuff.
I mean, I still understood why she was upset because it felt like a girl crush to me.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't agree with her. I'm like, nah, that needed to be cut.
Yeah.
So after it was released, the National Coalition on Television Violence deemed Red Dawn the most violent movie ever made. It's said to contain
laughable.
134 acts of violence an hour. And they rated it X.
What?
Yeah.
Where was this?
It was some coalition at the time in 1984. Because remember, there wasn't like the movie rating system was totally different.
Okay, that's right.
So this was another cool fact, actually, that came from this film. Because they had given X ratings to Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Wow.
Because of the heart scene.
Okay. But Gremlins?
Yeah, Gremlins, yeah. So this is when Spielberg had helped kind of petition to get a PG-13 rating. Because he felt that it was ridiculous that there's PG or there's R. He was like, no. He was like, Gremlins and like Indiana Jones, those are a middle ground movie. As is, 1984. So that turns out that Red Dawn is the first ever rated PG-13 film, I think. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I found a lot of these facts from this website that I've been like, where have you been my entire life?
Oh.
Apparently it's been out since 1999.
Wow.
And I've never heard of it. It was called fast-rewind.com. And it's this amazing, like, archive. Like, shout out to this website. Like, I will do commercials for you for free because that is how cool I think this website was. It's all like 80s movies, and it's just like this archive, and it has all these facts on it. It has all of the credits, everything you want to know about it, and it's well done, and it's the web design of it too, because it looks like a scrapbooky or like you're reading a magazine almost or something. Like, I loved it. I loved the web design. I loved how they have it organized. It was great. So I'm like, check them out if you want to like go full on facts and trivia about some of your favorite 80s movies. Yeah, I'm going to definitely be using it as a resource for us. Like a go back resource.
Is it just 80s movies?
I think so. Okay. Yeah, I think so. But worth it.
Worth it.
So there was a ton of trivia and facts about this film. You can find a heck of a lot more on YouTube even. There was a bunch of like different documentaries, as I've even quoted from a lot of the documentaries that were on DVD releases, etc., etc.
Etc.
So feel free to look that up. And with that, Jess is going to take it away with the Go Gold Summer.
In an alternate 1980s, the United States stands alone as communism grows stronger. When Soviet soldiers invade a small Colorado town, brothers Jed and Matt Eckert escape with friends to the forest. With their father Tom a prisoner of the invading army, the children decide to fight against the Soviets. As the country comes under increasing attack, the group teams up with Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Tanner to take back their town.
Avenge me! All right. So we kind of already mentioned our memories of this. That we got it completely mixed up with a lot of toy soldiers. Our bad.
I just remember the school scene with them parachuting in and like...
And that was literally all
I really don't even remember them shooting everybody that quickly.
No, it was right off the gate. And I didn't remember how quickly either. That
the whole movie just started right away.
Because I started thinking of toy soldiers. And then I was thinking, oh, and then they're going to be trapped in their school and this and that. And then it's just chaos and panic like it would be. And then they all hop in Patrick Swayze's truck. And I'm like,
Like, how do they get back to school?
Like, I don't know if this is the same movie I'm remembering. I'm like, oh, maybe they, yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, maybe they go back and stuff. No, it was a completely different movie.
Yeah, just right away.
Just right away. So yeah, you're supposed to be in a small town in Colorado. It opens up talking about basically the global situation. Like, what was it? El Salvador and Nicaragua and Cuba have all like
gotten their armies
created
together,
their little axis of evil. Yeah. And then, of course, there's the Soviet Union, the Russians.
They came over from Alaska.
Yes, and then they were able to use, like... I still didn't quite understand when they were explaining... Because I was like, how did they get all these fucking tanks here? And I guess it was just from...
A plane, it had to have been.
Yeah, and then they said later that, like, they came up... And this is where, in the beginning, they make it feels very propaganda, very right-wing. Because they're basically... It's like, oh, they came up illegally.
Yeah,
immigration,
exactly.
Immigrants. I was like, yo, it's been 40 fucking years and we are still on the same old bullshit. Like, I just like tisk, you know, like shook my head, like watching some of the beginning of this, like, or like, okay. And then they mentioned that England has kind of had our back a little bit in this situation, but they say the rest of the Europe is like, hell nah. Like, they're not helping us.
Sit this one out.
Yeah, they're gonna, because they're like, the Second World War and the first one was enough in 1 century. Like, they can't, Europe is basically like, we can't take anymore.
Yeah, we can't sustain it.
Yeah, we can't sustain it. So they were like, sorry guys, we can't help you. And then they also mentioned, though, China helping us, which I'm like, yeah, that probably would. I feel like, I'm like, is a allyship between China and Russia like a feasible thing? I don't know. Do they hate each other enough? Or do you think they hate us enough to, like, I always wonder.
Like that, do they both hate us enough?
But I feel like they're both just such big powers that they wouldn't.
Combine forces?
Because they're close. You know, like, they could technically, like, we're across the world, you know, like, to get people over here to fight us, that is, like, obviously a logistical, like, thing you have to figure out. Like, they're, like, neighbors, you know, like, so would they not want to do that, you know, just because they're like, oh, then they could come over here and kick my ass, too? Like, I wonder what
I don't know.
I wonder what that is. Yeah. Always interesting. And obviously they don't teach us shit over here, so
exactly.
I don't know.
I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing.
And sometimes I don't want to dig too deep down a rabbit hole either and be giving myself even more anxiety.
True. Yeah, because they straight out the gate, as we mentioned, the parachutists come, just start fucking
machine
mowing down people.
The poor teacher. And I really thought they were going to use that Genghis Khan war
I
reference.
know, I thought that was foreshadowing.
Yeah, I really thought that was too.
Maybe it was later when the colonel was there. Because remember,
they didn't talk about it.
No, I guess not. Yeah, but I really thought that was going to be like a whole foreshadowing thing. And one of the kids is going to be like, oh, we should do the Genghis Khan move.
Exactly.
Like, I literally thought they were going to do that.
I was kind of disappointed.
No, but Swayze gets as many of the boys as he can. One of them is his brother, who is Charlie Sheen. Yeah, then the other handful of guys. And he just knows they got to get the fuck out of Dodge. Like, I love Patrick Swayze's character in this movie, though. Like, and I would have only loved it because it's him. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Like, I feel like
nobody else could have played it.
Yeah, like the way he played it. Like, he did a really good balance of, like, in the beginning of, like, he's supposed to be the tough guy. He is the eldest, you know, like, he's the leader. He was the quarterback. Like,
he's
gonna
take over. He's
gonna take over. And, you know, make sure that these kids are okay. And, like, you know, of course, there's some defiance in the beginning. Like, why are you in charge? Or, like, they're worried about their families, obviously. Right. But he's kind of being straight up with them, though. Like, this is fucking World War III. Like, obviously, like, we are being attacked. Like, people are dying. Like, we need to either hide out here and your families would want you alive. You know, like, not go and just sacrifice yourself while there's chaos.
Go die with them.
Yeah. And so they do all agree to bunker down. And this, you're told in the beginning it's September. So it's like the first 2 months, it just shows them kind of surviving. And then they finally meet up back with a connection they had at like this gas station on the outer skirts. And they go into town just to figure out what the fuck is going on. Because things have calmed down.
They don't have a radio.
They don't have a radio. They have nothing. And I just felt like, though, they go into town very brazenly that first time.
They didn't, like, sneak in or anything.
Yeah, but, I mean, I guess, though, because all the people are
and
chilling.
they didn't hear any more bombs or whatever, I guess. Because they said, when do we hide out or how long? He said, until we don't hear that anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe they didn't hear that anymore.
Well, basically, and then they just didn't know if they were occupied or not. Yeah. But, I mean, they could see, by the time they get in town, they know they are. But obviously, they're not mowing people down the streets anymore, and people are still walking about. So I guess it would make sense just to act like you live there, you know, like, and you're used to the occupation now at this point. And so they're able to get some information then of what's happening. And it is not good still.
And, like, they're telling everybody you're slitting people's throats while they sleep.
Yeah. And at that point, they hadn't done anything. They haven't been fighting.
They just been surviving.
No, I don't think they haven't even had the face-off yet the first time of, like, oh, shit, we've been caught up here. So, yeah, nothing like that has happened. And they get a little information. They get some help. They find out that they're holding people who would have been a problem, a.k.a. people who had firearms or leadership experience or anything like that. I think even records probably.
And the mayor
like
ratted him out for that.
Yeah, and the piece of shit mayor. That's why that mayor's son, I'm glad he gets fucking murdered. I'm with that other kid on that one. I'm like, no, you mow that motherfucker down. Him and his dad are spineless. Fucking, this is the American in me going, kill those traitors.
Yeah, traitor.
Fucking traitor. Fucking commie piece of shit. But no, yeah, the mayor. I mean, he's trying to be peaceful and just in his mind, he's thinking less people are gonna die. But I'm like, really? Because they're like murdering people in front of you, and you're just letting him. Like you just don't want to die. So now, like, you little bitch, you little bitch. And I guess, I mean, he wants his son to stay alive, but I'm like, your son's out there. Like, you don't have to turn in people to keep your son alive. They don't have your son.
Exactly. They don't have your son.
So what's the logic here? None. There was none. So yeah, they're talking to their dad, and that's when the dad does the avenge me, son.
And that I was like, everybody's like, no, Dad, oh no, don't cry over me. Like, be quiet. Shh, okay, get out of here before somebody sees you. Boys! Avenge me! I was like, what the fuck? Like, as soon as he started screaming boys, I was like, what the? I thought they were supposed to be boys.
I thought it was a stupid scene.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Because even he's like, you know, I wasn't very good to you, and I raised you badly, and this is why I did it.
Yeah, and I was like, what are you talking about, like, survival skills?
Or, yeah, like, I don't know.
Made them drink deer blood?
Yeah. No, I called that witchcraft for boys.
Yeah. True.
That's what that was. That was, yeah. That was a hunting ritual for them. Yeah, that's how they roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically they know, like, oh, fuck, okay, we can't come in and out of town. Like, none of this is going to be happening. They meet up with that one connection they have that's on the outskirts. And he has his granddaughters being hidden because they were almost attacked and assaulted and a whole bunch of things. And then Patrick Swayze's like, fuck, dude. I gotta take care of more fucking kids.
I know.
Like, I feel like you can tell the director thrust that upon Patrick Swayze because his character does so aptly display that he's tired of taking care of these children.
Like, one more mouth to feed and take care of and look after and
worry.
Keep alive.
My hair is falling out.
Birds' heads are falling off.
Yeah. So they take the girls with them, and then, so now this is in the next kind of 2-month setting, November and December, with everything that's happened, and then there's a little field trip by a couple of Russians in the beautiful mountains, and they're like taking pictures and doing like fucking tourist shit.
Thing was so funny.
And then the guy's reading the sign because he's like, "Oh, you speak English? Read the sign." And the sign is just basically about like Theodore Roosevelt like making the park, and then he says it's about him like killing all these people, and it's a victory, and totally mistranslated to like make it seem like it was about a war battle like zone.
He just made up something and threw the names in there.
Yeah, it was funny. But the kids are hiding. They were in the woods and stuff, and they had heard them. They were hiding under this ledge, and the guy sees their arrows, and they're like, "Fuck!" So they get caught, and then they know at this point that they have to murder these guys because cover's gonna be blown. They're gonna be led right there. And I love this scene because it's so chaotic, and it's them running around, and you know, it's the one kid who it's fucked up in the head because his parents were murdered, and he's like out for revenge at this point. So he mows down one guy, just full cold blood, does not mind at all.
Well, Patrick Swayze told him, turn it into something else,
Exactly.
And he turned it.
I wanted to talk about that scene because I was going to say, beforehand, when they've gone through all of this, like, emotional fucking turmoil, and, you know, most of their families are dead or fucking in fucking camps and stuff, and there's a scene, and Patrick Swayze is telling them to, like, turn it into something else, and I loved that scene with him, because I'm like, yeah, like, you know, like, but it almost, like, backfires, basically, too. And that's why I still feel like this is an anti-war movie, even though it has so much fucking propaganda.
I think
and,
it shows the effects of war on people.
Well, and what it happens when you have to, like, turn that empathy off.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
you know,
go cold-blooded, and then people don't matter to you anymore. You just kill anybody for doing the wrong thing. Or...
Exactly. And you see that they demonstrate that also with the Cuban I don't know what his rank was supposed to be, but one of the Cuban leaders.
I think he was a colonel too, wasn't he?
Something. Yeah, but he was one of the higher ups, and they show him always kind of wavering and even saying we should be getting the people on our side, not leading through fear. And he even talks about his experience.
Like, otherwise it's genocide and you're just killing everybody.
And then he even talks about his experience of being the insurgents, because he even said, like, I'm not used to this side of he's basically implies he's used to being Patrick Swayze. Like, that's what I think he was implying with that. So he's even like, no, you should get the people, and then that's how we're going to calm that situation down. Of course, they're like, no, we don't have to hear this.
We don't have to.
So yeah, this is basically, they had broke bad. That moment on the cliffs is when they're like, no, we can fucking do this. And I love that Jennifer Grey just mows down that one guy.
Yeah.
And I like how they showed too, like in the beginning, like she couldn't handle the firearm. You know what I mean? Like she's like, and like she like couldn't like control it, and it kind of lifted up, and she still killed that guy. And then as they get better and better, and she's like a fucking badass later. Right. Like, I like that it at least showed that the people who were not experienced, like in that stuff, but she wasn't like a badass right away. Like it showed her struggling a little bit. Yeah. So it made it a little more realistic. Same thing with some of the other boys, obviously having trouble murdering someone. Like, that's also, like, shown. So, yeah, I think they did a good job of, like, showing the evolution in those couple of months. And it's, like, the winter scenes. And they're just basically going to town and, like, blowing these people away. I did not anticipate, like, I was like, this is a war movie.
It really is a war movie.
It's not war adjacent.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and there was that one scene after the first, like, scuffle with the Russians and the mountains. And then Charlie Sheen is always a dick to her the girl characters. And they kind of show that throughout, too, and I never understand kind of why. He's such a one-off character. For him to be so important to Patrick Swayze, I feel like they don't really show his character enough or a lot.
Like, development.
Yeah, because he's just kind of a dick. Because, why don't you do something useful? And, like, gives her the dishes. I'm like, she literally killed a man that day.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Like, she was useful.
Yeah, she was useful. Like, you washed the fucking dishes. I fucking got blood on my hands.
I like how she totally tagged him for it.
Yeah, she did. So, I did appreciate, and I honestly think that was the original writer. That's probably I feel like the stuff that they got from his contribution.
Yeah.
Because this is more the Lord of the Rings kind of feel to it. Or Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Flies. Oh, you said it, and I was like, yeah, wait.
Lord of the Flies.
I was like, because they're sitting around a campfire?
Oh, and that one younger guy for the Cuban who had the very, like, hot features. Do you know the one guy I'm talking about? He had, like, the cheekbones for days.
He was on the...
And he was, like, the second under the other Cuban guy. But he was, like, the more meaner, hardcore one. But he looked like a young Jimmy Smith to me. And I could not find him in the credits, though. So I was like, but he looked kind of like a young Jimmy Smith. And I was just like, is that you, Jimmy? Oh, and the one scary guy that Charlie Sheen had talked about, the colonel who comes in, when obviously they call themselves the Wolverines, because that was from their high school. That's the most, like, childlike thing about this movie.
Right.
That, like, they're still kind of children. Because otherwise, it's just them mowing fucking Russians and
they're just
South Americans down.
Teenage soldiers.
Yeah, fully little guerrilla warfare kids. Like, they've got it down to almost a science. Because we don't get a death until
they protect the whole mountains.
Yeah, until quite a bit later, actually.
Until the tanks.
Yeah,
show up.
They've been very lucky where they haven't basically lost a man, and they run into the colonel that we mentioned. They found him, his plane had gone down basically, and he had been hiding too. And it does show them bring more camaraderie. But the colonel is always very hesitant. It feels like, too, like, a little bit about what they're doing. Like, he supports it, but he knows they're just a bunch of kids. And, like, you can see
they're going to die.
Reservation,
obviously.
Yeah. So they do show all of these points. Like, it's a movie that kind of sticks with you. It stuck with me afterwards. Because it's just like, oh, man, like, might be how it would go down.
Yeah,
like, you know, kind of, like, when you're thinking about it, like, who could survive out, before. And it's... Because, they had the option. They could have all just kept trying to cross the lines and get into, what was America again. But, instead they chose to do what they were...
Protect their town.
Gonna protect their town. Do what they can, because they're also thinking there might be hope that, they can be the front lines while they're trying waiting for backup, kind of.
And that's what's so sad is that... I mean, did it ever come?
It comes at times, yeah. Like, there'll be jets, a little bit, it's one of ours, and, and then the colonel does take them, I think, to, like, the border area where it's just, and that's the tanks, and that's when shit starts getting real, and it builds up into a depressing ending, still, to be honest.
I was like, I didn't remember all of the kids dying, except for those two.
Yeah, except for the two. Yeah. And I still don't understand, why would they need a distraction for them? They've been surviving out in those woods and all that. Like, I don't understand what...
Because I guess if they all went, that they were going to the woods to get them anyway. So that way give them time to get out, I guess.
Yeah, but they were at night. They could have all just left at night and gone, I guess. But yeah, I mean, they did like kill basically all the people in charge almost in that facility, besides the Cuban guy, because in the end they do show the Cuban guy letting Patrick Swayze, as he's carrying his dying fucking little brother, and he just lets him go, you know, because
like, at least he had that kind of decency.
Yeah, well, and he was gonna dip out too because they had his poignant letter he was writing to his wife.
I was like, whoa, that's a
It felt so
mood
out of
change.
place.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
I guess that was just him changing his mind about war in general.
Yeah, but it felt, really out of place. So, this was a good movie. I don't know if I would watch it again, like, anytime soon. I would maybe watch it again much later. But yeah, it's just kind of sad, and I mean, Patrick Swayze was great. That's why I would, like, watch it again for sure, is his performance. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people talk shit about this movie. Overall, I don't think there's too much to talk shit about in terms of, like, it's just a war movie, you know, like
just with kids.
It did what it did. It did what it needed to do. It didn't really go into too many big themes, like, it is what it is kind of thing, but it is scary to think about, and that fear, and you can kind of see
how quickly it can be taken over, too.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see why it was such a popular movie, if it was, because of the fear that was existing at that time.
And I remember from watching it growing up with, like, my brother and stuff, because, like, boys loved this movie. Because it was, like, teenage boys think they can do anything anyway.
That's true.
And then they're like, yeah, I could totally take back the town. And they're like, I wish Russians would.
I wish a Russian would.
I wish a Russian would. That's going to be the tagline.
There we go. Perfect. I was wondering, because I was like, what are we going to call this one? There wasn't many funny lines out of it. Because, this one was more of a downer than I expected.
Yeah.
Like I said, I intended Toy Soldiers a little, like, you know, not as, I think, serious.
A little more war adjacent.
Yeah. Like I said, this one was straight up. Like, even in the beginning, they show, like, a fucking kid with a headshot hanging out the fucking
I know! I was not expecting that.
Like, I'll give it to the Coalition when they're like, this is the most violent movie ever.
Yeah, it's all children.
It's like, this was the 80s Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, it was pretty... hold no bars on who got killed, that's for sure.
Definitely. And I mean, I was happy to see that they did have the Des in, like, more of the second half of the movie, because I was thinking, I'm like, this is almost so unbelievable that these kids could pull this off. You know, like, someone's gonna have to die sometime soon. Like, at least one of them. Right. Like they're not bulletproof. But, well, that was Red Dawn.
That was Red Dawn.
We have not announced August's movies yet, because we haven't picked them. Augustus?
I was like, I haven't even thought about it, to be honest with you.
Nope, have
Didn't
not.
even cross my mind.
So we will make that announcement on the Instagrams for you. Usually in August or September, we do, like, our birthday kind of stuff. It's what we've kind of done, I think, almost every year.
We've done that, or, like, back to school, or...
Yes, yeah. So, we'll discuss it, and we'll think about it, and we'll let you guys know on that one.
Stew on it.
And remember, as always, you can find us at Film Gazers on the social medias and the Film Gazers podcast community on Discord. It's not very hopping still.
No, it's not.
Well, time to hit the dusty trail.
Until next time.
Later, taters.